No, sure. But if most men will never reach that true potential, right? So if most men live average lives, then wouldn't most men, be, I guess, just as valuable, if not less valuable than a regular woman?
I hear where you're coming from, and I can't push back on that. All I can say to that is a man's potential.
Yeah.
His potential is farther than the woman's. So okay, yeah, she has these looks for a time, but when those looks phase, what does she have? So I guess you're right. They're equal to a point. Yeah. But at any time, if that man decides to get on his shit, decides to work out, decides to get on top of his game, it's over. That's what I'm saying. I'm not gonna sit up here and say every dude, because a lot of dudes, they talk about women, they can't catch a woman. That's because she above your league. Yeah, she's above your league, but you could be above her league if you put in that work.
No, true. Now listen, I see like a short, man, of like yours, right? Where, bro, and I agree, right? Is like these incels, have been fed like this pipe dream of, I deserve the baddest, right? Yo, bro, like these hoes ain't shit. When bro, like chances are, bro, like you not shit. You feel me? Like you dirt.
Yeah, that's and I'm heavy on that, because a lot of dudes need that check of reality, and sometimes they watch some of these red pill podcasts and they get to pumping themselves up. It's like, nah, you got to do the work though. We got to look objection. Like, okay, so in some of my like group calls, I ask dudes, they want to have a lot of women and things. I say, well, tell me why you don't feel like you have the women that you should have. Yeah. They say this, they say that, and I say the reason is because you're not who you think you are. Right? Because the man who has that is that, and he attracts that. If you're not attracting a bunch of women, it's because you're not the person that deserves to attract that. Because for the guy who is attracting that, it's easy for him because he is that. Most dudes really don't understand what level they really on, and they do need a reality check. But at the same time, these women do too.
YouTube influencers.
That is so sad what he just did. The dude, the heavy dude, is just basically stating what they just did in the video previous. He was hyping the dude, the big heavy dude up, hyping him up, saying how valuable he was. The moment that dude leave that podcast to go holler at a woman, that's probably what I'm gonna use one of Trev's statements, punching outside of his fucking weight class. The moment he go holler at a baddie or somebody outside of his weight class, and the moment she turn his fat ass down, he gonna say, "Oh, women ain't shit. I'm gonna get a passport. These hoes are ungrateful." He's doing a disservice to that man in the chat. He should tell him, "Hey, look, these are things you need to work on, bro. I've been out here, and I know what these women want. Just like we look at women, they look at us too. They want us to be attractive too." And if he would have been honest with that dude, then I could have paid a little bit more attention to what he was saying. But he's just losing me with the he's pandering to the man.
No, Darwin, you are attributing a man's value to his vanity and to how good he looks. Like the first thing that you said when you first spoke before on the last segment was that the dude needs to go to the gym before he started calling people high value. A man's value. I listed off the things that really makes a man valuable, and then he also spoke on what that man has the potential to do. I know he mentioned work on yourself and all the other kind of stuff, but typically when we say that to men, we're talking about getting yourself out there and making a name for yourself, not necessarily, losing weight. So what you're doing right now is you're saying that if a guy he's a money maker, he has a network of brothers, he's accepted by those men, he's been making money for years, we can verify his career, he's useful to the society in which he lives, but if he's fat, he ain't valuable. That's what you're saying, and that's not true.
What I'm saying is, all I'm saying is this: I wouldn't hype him up, I wouldn't praise him as much as the guy did on the show. I would look at where he can improve, and I would focus on those things.
But the only thing that you said he can improve on is his looks.
I mean, that's as far as I could see right now. I don't know anything else about the dude. So, those things are very, very obvious looking from the outside.
But you have to understand.
But you attribute it. But you also, by only visually looking at him on the video screen, you also said he ain't high value. When the guy at the sofa said that he was. Now, maybe the guy at the sofa knows a little bit more. He knows how much money he makes. He knows how good that podcast is, or how.
But I don't really have to know all those things. Really, even if I did know all those things, I wouldn't still call him high value because I have a benefit of being able to talk to women, surround myself around women who look at men in a way of where they would see him as, okay, he could use some work. I get it. He's doing all these things for society. He's got money. He's got business. Got a network. But yeah, he can work on these things. And
But Bruiser, the problem with what you're saying though with this is that nobody is liked by everybody. There's no
That's
such
true.
thing as that. Any woman can. We've seen women find things wrong with everybody. Jay-Z is a goddamn billionaire. Jay-Z is a
I'm
goddamn.
not arguing that. I'm not arguing against
And
that.
everybody, and there's still women out there to this day say, I don't know how you pull. I don't know how you pull Beyonce. You sit there like, ain't no way if Jay-Z was in a room with you. But that's besides the point.
No. Continue your point. You
wait.
put him in a room with Bruiser. Bruiser's not getting none of the women he getting.
Fair enough. But the thing is, is that,
and that's no disrespect.
Hold on, bro. What?
To Shan's point.
If you in a room with Jay-Z's crusty lips, Jay-Z gets all the
No
girls.
camel.
You get the leftovers.
You get
okay. So how about let's do this. I think this is a better way to do it. Let's say that I don't know that dude's name. That same heavy dude sitting there on the mic. Let's say you had 9 of him in the room, and then one of him about 50 pounds lighter. And you had 10 women coming in the room. All 10 of those women would compete for the one that's 50 pounds lighter. That's my point.
Hold on, wait. But
you're doing so much to rather concede, walk it back, relook at the points that was made instead of trying to find nooks and crannies.
I don't see how that last scenario I gave is not understood.
Hold on, because
I'm sorry.
The problem with your logic is that you said if you had 9 of him, one, we don't know what the him is. Apparently, hold on, wait. I'm gonna explain, because to Shan's point, the dude in the video called him high value. That means he's seeing something that we just can't see on the TV screen. That means he sees what this guy is doing behind closed doors. That means he sees how many women this dude can bag. That means he sees what kind of network. He knows his network. That means he sees all of this. Or maybe he don't. He's just bullshitting. We don't know. All we can go off of what the man said about him. We don't know. You know what I mean?
Do I have to use what he's seen or what he said through his lips about another man and take that as a I reserve the right to take it as a grain of salt, right?
If you're gonna say that he's not, you at least got to be able to have a proof to disprove the guy that said that he was in the room.
No, I know I don't, because he didn't prove that he did.
What Marcus?
Okay. The guy in the room never proved that he did. He just stated.
Do you think men go out their way to tell other men that they on the top of the world and that man is not on top of the world?
Do they go out their way to tell a man that they're not on top of the world?
Yes, all the time.
Okay.
We tell people they ain't shit all the time.
Marcus,
but look,
I got you, Shan. Look,
ahead,
so Poetic Flacco, he like you know who Joe Buttons is, right? So in the world of hip hop media, he probably a C-list celebrity on his way up via the No Jumper podcast. He hasn't made the money yet, but his network and the amount of people that's tuning into him, it's on the incline. He's growing right now. I would say his net worth is probably between 100 to 400K, but he has the potential to be a millionaire within the next 5 years if the trajectory keeps going that way for him. To the point that Shan was making about the weight, I don't think that the weight. So he's getting status or clout in this day and age, right? So that weight won't affect his ability to navigate with women in the field that he'll be in. The issue will come in with his aura and the energy he carries. Because you know who DJ Academics is? He probably make like $3-5 million a year. But the energy that he carries is so awkward and lame that when he gets women, they take advantage of him, they disrespect him, they put him in bad situations, and they don't treat him like the man that makes $5 million a year. Or set him up.
Yeah,
or set him up because he's not operating in the energy of a man who's done that type of work. It's a book called The Way of the Superior Man. If anybody has a chance to sit down and grab that book, it goes into detail about how to make yourself attractive and valuable, or more attractive or more valuable than anyone else around you. And then understanding that, you understand how to move, and that confidence exudes from you. Like Poetic Flacco and Biggie probably in women's eyes would be less attractive, but Biggie had the energy that would make him more attractive, the swag to most women. And you can operate from that energy and still win tremendously, to Shan's point. So it won't be necessarily about the
okay, so the Biggie thing, I get what you're saying about the Biggie thing. I don't think there's any if you, let's say you had two guys that are Biggie. The Biggie that would win would have to be the Biggie with the record sales and the millions of dollars.
Yes.
I don't give a damn about no. If both of them had that same energy you spoke about, how powerful the energy Biggie had, which led him to be able to have a successful relationships with women. I don't agree with that. I think it was his most definitely his socioeconomic status behind his music. Because if you look at Biggie, rest in peace to the brother. I like his music, but the dude was a slop.
But you're assuming that men.
What? So, but I thought part of being high value was all of, if other men know you and recognize you. So this other man who we talked about. Hold on, let me finish, dog. So this other man was being recognized. He's propping him up. He's showing he's being recognized. So he's calling him a high value. So he's doing some of the things y'all talk about. He's a 6-figure dude. He's being recognized by other men. So what's the problem? You also gotta
see how he's.
Is that what?
Yeah. No, what I was doing. Okay. What I was doing was you also gotta look at him through the lens of how the market would. And the market would be the women that are to be attracted to him. So that's what we not compensating for. Listen, I know they do. I know women like heavy dudes. I know they like dudes with missing teeth and all this other shit. Look, I know it. There's all kinds of guys, women. But I'm talking about the majority. Just like you can run it adjacent to the man looking for a woman to be the most beautiful.
You're talking about the majority, Darwin.
More highly valued. I'm talking about the majority of women.
He don't need majority. He may be looking for one.
But then a woman can say that a woman can use that same argument. She don't need most men to like her.
Darwin.
She just need one. You get what I'm saying? It's really like a cancellation on that.
Darwin, you gave an example. You said if that dude on the TV screen, because we're talking about the value of men versus the value of women. You said that guy on the screen, if there was 9 of him in a room and a 10th version of him was 50 pounds less, then the 50-pound version would get the girls. The comparison is off. What you need to say is there's 9 of that guy in a room, and the 10th version of him who's 50 pounds less is broke and live with his mama and ain't doing shit and works as he doesn't have any utility. He doesn't have any network. He has no visibility. He's nothing, but he's the same guy and he's 50 pounds less.
The only way what you just said would make logical sense is if the better version of the lesser weighted or less weighted version, a lighter version of him had all of the nuances. When that's not the case, there exists men who are a lighter version of him that still have all the same attributes.
No, I got that, but what we're trying to let you know is the weight is not what's important to the women.
I'm telling you, the weight is to a certain extent. I'm telling you that if women can get a better, anytime a woman is faced with an option and she can get a better version of you, she'd rather take the better version.
She won't take it if you're broke. That weight won't give.
Okay, so how can being broke be the better version? How can that make? That's what I'm saying. Logically, that don't even make sense.
What?
How can a better version of you have less resources?
No, you're talking about because you're attributing the better version to his weight. All you're doing is saying that he's better version of him is his weight.
No, that's not what all I said. I said you take 9 of him. When I say 9 of him, that means all of them have the same value, the same resources, the same network, the same earning. The 10th man has the same as the 9. The only difference between the 10th man and the rest of the 9 guys is this guy just has a fit. He's more healthy.
I got a quick question. I got a quick question for that.
I can't get it across.
I got a quick question for that, and this may help you, Bruiser, or at least get y'all to kind of think of where he's coming from, and y'all might still completely disagree, and that's fine. But the one point I would say is this, right? Do you think that Pac would have been able to run down on Faith if Biggie, with all his charisma and everything else, was in shape? Do you think that if he was built like Pac was,
Absolutely.
Do you think that Pac still would have been able to run down on his chick and do that?
Absolutely.
No, I think if Biggie was maximize his health and fitness, I think the chances are drastically decreased on her stepping out on him. If in fact
y'all think Faith
the
stepped
reason
out on him
if in fact the reason Faith stepped out on Biggie initially because it was his physical attraction.
What?
But if the reason Faith stepped out on Biggie was because of his physical appearance, I would go on the record and argue that if his physical appearance wasn't an issue, then the chances of her being promiscuous and stepping out on him would drastically decrease.